Thank you, Sue. I am excited this morning to be sharing with you some data about what our patients think about data sharing. So say that 10 times fast. I'm Evette Ludman from the GroupHealth Research Institute. We do practical research that helps people like you and me and our families stay healthy. We're part of GroupHealth, which you heard about yesterday from my wonderful colleague David Arterburn. We like to think of ourselves as a learning healthcare system. Context for this data I'm going to present this morning builds off nicely for what we were talking about this morning. New kinds of research as well as existing types of research, such as genome scale, require large and diverse pools of samples and data. Thus, there's a lot of interest in reusing and pooling existing data sets for efficiency and reliability. But not much is known about what people think about this, especially in the case of data and samples that were already collected for a different purpose. So we were participating in a network called the eMERGE network, and this is the site that we are at GroupHealth is also a collaboration, I should say, with the University of Washington, and including my lovely colleague Sue over there. The eMERGE network was funded to explore the feasibility of linking genome-wide association studies with electronic medical records using existing research cohorts. And all sites were required to submit de-identified study data to dbGaP, a federal administered data repository. And out of 5 of the eMERGE sites, only our GroupHealth IRB ruled that living participants in the original research cohort should be asked for their consent to submit their data to dbGaP. Unfortunately, we recognize this as a chance to learn about what our members expect and what they would want about that. So the existing cohort study that was being examined at GroupHealth are the adult changes in thought study participants. The ACT study is a longitudinal cohort study of aging and dementia. Participants are 65 years or older with no dementia at the time they're enrolled. Currently, there are 2,000 participants ages 65 to 102, and they've been GroupHealth members for a median 30 years. So ACT study members were sent an informed consent document asking them would they be willing to share their data with this federal repository. A document was mailed to them, and then they were called 2 to 3 weeks later if the document was not received back. So this is when we swooped in and did our little, what we call the reconsent study. And here are the 4 questions I'm going to address today. Will the ACT study participants give consent for data sharing? What are the reasons, values, and beliefs that drive their decisions about reconsent for data sharing? Do they feel that the reconsent was needed? And what do they think about the process used to ask for consent for data sharing? Question number 1, will the ACT study participants give consent for data sharing? Well, 86% of them did. Of those 86, we sent 400 of them, we recruited 400 of them to be in a telephone interview survey. We had 91% who completed the interview, or 365 participants. We asked them in the survey a mixture of open-ended questions and forced choice questions. And the first question was, what was their main reason for deciding to sign the consent? And not surprisingly, as you heard this morning, generosity and altruism was the #1 reason. And this was, the point was made especially for people, these were an elderly population. They said, this is something I can do. I'm too old to volunteer for other stuff, but I can do this. As I read the letter, there wouldn't be any benefit to me, but it would help someone else down the line. I thought that's not a bad thing to do. I think it's important for people to contribute. If everybody didn't want to, what would be the point? Our patients say it so much better and more concisely than we do. Other main reasons, which again you've heard about all morning long, is this sense of trust. Patients in the study, they liked and trust GroupHealth. They appreciated being part of the particular original study, the ACT study. And finally, they said, hey, why not? It's easy to do. So we asked in the forced choice format, how important or unimportant each reason was in making their decision. And as you can see, there's incredibly high endorsement of all the following reasons: that research can improve patient care, prevent or treat illness, could help increase knowledge for society, could help me or someone like me in the future. Group health researchers are leading this study, and the ACT study researchers are leading the study. These were all important reasons. We also did ask them about concerns they might have. We asked them about concerns that their privacy would be invaded or that their identity might be revealed, concerned about the kind of research this data bank could be used for in the future, concerned that their information could be used for others for their own profit, and concern or confusion about the study itself, or not sure what they would have to do about the study. And you can see patients did endorse these things, but a much smaller percentage than endorsed the reasons why they would want to participate. We asked them some open-ended questions about other concerns, and only 27 individuals mentioned specific concerns. One was potential misuse of information, one was potential for profit, and finally, privacy concerns. I'll let you read those quotes. Many of the participants didn't have any concerns, and they said things like, I don't think there's anything that you could use it for that would bother me. Or they mentioned, again, their trust in group health or the UW. On the other hand, I'll have to say we had a little bit of a methodological issue here, and I'm sorry, is it Gary Langer who spoke to us yesterday, who might be slapping my wrist now? The word concern may not have been specific enough, so others took it to mean interests. So when we asked them about other concerns, they said things like, I would like them to go into the cancer field. I don't see a lot of research with ovarian cancer. And finally, this is going to get to the question that our lovely friend from Maine was asking about opt-in and opt-out. We asked them how acceptable would it have been if we had had different types of strategies rather than the opt-in strategy that we used for data sharing. What if we sent a letter, asked you to contact us only if you did not want to agree to place your information in the data bank? In other words, an opt-out strategy. And about 40% said that would be unacceptable. What if we just let you know by letter that we had already sent your information to the data bank, or a notification only? And you can see a large percentage, about 67% said that that would have been unacceptable. And what if we added your research information to the National Data Bank without telling you or asking for your permission? And also a large percentage agreed with that. Or, excuse me, said that would be unacceptable. So how important was it to you that we did ask your permission? 69% said it was very important that we asked their permission. 21% said somewhat important. And the comments about this included the full range. It's always important to ask a subject for permission. I don't think I'd be too upset if you had and didn't tell me, but I think it's nice that you let people know. You're going through an awful lot of trouble for very little. So that's the range. So I'll conclude, thank you for letting me race through this pretty quickly, that even though our respondents were willing to allow their data to be shared, the majority thought it was important that researchers asked for their active consent. The drivers of participating were belief in value of medical research, trust and appreciation for the healthcare system, the University of Washington, and the study that they had been part of. So they had a high value on the benefits of health research, trust and appreciation, but they also had a high value for their personal autonomy. The other conclusion we make is that high rates of reconsent do not equal open-ended use of previously collected research data without future need for individual consent. Our consenters endorsed reasons against as well as reasons for consenting to data sharing, although reasons for outweighed concerns in importance. Finally, I have to mention that our ACT study participants are elderly, very altruistic, have extraordinary trust in group health and the ACT study researchers, yet they still wanted to be asked for permission. This strengthens the argument that reconsent may be appropriate in other situations. Or does it? Would younger cohorts be more or less inclined to feel the need to give active consent? And I leave that question to you. Thank you.